this thing is massive. I'm gonna go up there by it to give you a sense of scale.
Should I be offended I was not invited? And they make that noise.
No, they don't make that noise.
Didn't get for us.
A bank and it was trying to move away.
And we've now broken out the binoculars for alligator TV. And we're watching. Abner has been eating this morning. So, is he still out? He's straight across yet where he's been all morning. But he was eating again. He was like flopping around twice.
It's a raccoon.
I was about to say, yeah, it's a raccoon.
Seriously?
Yeah, I can see its straight tail. Backing up, coming up, and there you go.
Carmel,
Oh, you must be eating.
don't you care about Abner? No? You don't care? No. Where are you guys headed?
I'm gonna go play ping pong.
Should I be offended I was not invited on this thing?
No, you're too good for us.
No, you knew I needed alone time.
Yeah, that too.
No, you needed me to make dinner.
Is the alligator out?
I don't know. I'm not going any closer. Usually he lays out over there in the afternoon. Hi, Makenna. Makenna's going to fall. That would have been quite the video. Makenna falling down the steps. Then you'd already have killed the March record. Be like, go.
Bust, right?
Yeah, it's March 1st.
Yeah.
And you didn't fall at all in January. You fell once in February, so. Twice I saw two Makenna.
No, I remember I almost fell, but Julie was next to me, so I like grabbed her, so it was fine. I didn't. Is the mic plugged in all the way?
Yes, it is. I feel like you still don't trust
Well,
me.
because there's still very often where a clip doesn't have sound.
Wonder how that happens. Alright, they begged. Right, honey?
Yeah, now she's gonna beat us all at ping pong. We're gonna be sorry we invited her.
So, yeah, and they won't get dinner either.
You know what easy it's gonna be? Now I'm standing.
Oh yeah, because Makenna, that was her big thing when she was using the wheelchair during her rehab. She'd play ping pong all the time, and she was really good at it from the wheelchair. Like, she was beating me, and I'm like,
In a wheelchair,
way
too.
experienced in using a wheelchair. But now she's going to be standing. You haven't played
Seriously?
since
You haven't played?
for the last year. She hasn't.
Even at Disney, right?
Yeah, we don't have a ping pong table in the RV for sure.
I'm pretty
I was
sure.
thinking about putting one on the roof.
We've talked about it. The bonus to staying at a RV resort.
Wow,
Yeah.
we have it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Remember how wide open?
Ours was to put down.
Yep. Well, enjoy it while you can, guys, because in 4 days we're staying in a cow field. Okay, close-up action shot. All right, Brian, hit. What? You have to actually hit it back and forth.
I can't.
Oh wait, I'm gonna hold it.
I
like
can't
the
hold
pros.
this position much longer.
I'm gonna serve it like the pros do.
Seriously?
No, you do this.
Yeah.
You can do this.
And they make that noise.
No, Alex.
No, they don't make that noise. You get kicked out of the
might.
tournament if you do.
Sorry, teamwork.
Wow, so that went back and forth twice. Let's
We're
try to
good.
do a
That's how
volley.
good we are.
2, 3.
Oh.
2.
Good one.
I'm more worried about Alex hitting me. You watched her play.
Oh, 3-2, Jarod.
Game face Makenna.
Oh.
You can zoom in with the lens.
Okay, I can't play. Mom, you have a zoom lens. You could stand over there.
But it's more fun standing here. Look, because then I can zoom in extra close. I have been told by one of my children that I am not to zoom in and out.
It's on the phone.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah.
It's zooming out minimally, like not really fast because it doesn't focus that fast.
I zoomed this in and out at topsail doing frisbee.
Yes, and you like zoom back out, zoom back out, and it doesn't focus.
Alright, so Makenna has not lost her touch.
1-1. Yeah, Makenna beat all 3 of us now.
Playing to 5 points.
Well, she beat all 4 of us.
She blew through all 4 of us. And she's going around again, beating Jarod. So on today's version of Alligator TV with Abner, he seems to have gotten himself another raccoon 2 days in a row. We thought the big raccoon yesterday would have been enough. We need to put up warning signs for the raccoons, because that seems to be his favorite meal. Off to the beach.
Beach are we going to?
Cocoa Beach.
Okay.
So twins are busy working, they don't get to go, and we don't look like we're dressed for the beach, because we really don't do the beach like beach. Like, there's rarely do we like all get in our bathing suits and take the rafts and the
chairs and all that
chairs
stuff.
and go to the beach. I guess partly because Brian can't move around a lot on the beach.
Nope.
You know, so
I bring my own chair.
we'll hang out
Get it?
and, you know.
Because I have a wheelchair, so I bring it.
So we do frisbee and football and that kind of stuff, but we rarely do the whole beachy scene. And Cocoa Beach, I think, is the closest beach. Like, if you're in the Orlando area at Disney and that zone, and you want to hit the beach,
Yeah,
I think
straight
Cocoa
shot
Beach.
east from Orlando. So this is Port Canaveral. It's where all the cruise ships would be if they were running. The other day we came by and one of the Disney cruise ships was leaving port, which was really cool because it was playing Disney music on its horn and just cruising out to sea. They have them parked like a couple miles off the coast. There was 3 of them here, and there's one, we looked it up then, there's one of them in Europe somewhere. Apparently they bring them in once a week, replenish supplies, food, and all that stuff. The cleaning staff, I guess the crew stays on board, and once a week they come in, replenish supplies, and then go back out and live out there on the cruise ship. The boardwalk has ended.
Not good.
So scout up there and see how far it goes, Alex. Because sometimes there's access points that are a little closer to the beach than others. But this one's like a huge long thing in the sand. We'll have to maybe find another one. Okay.
Didn't get far.
Yeah, it did. Way down here from way back there.
That's true, but it's still, the water is
Way up there.
way up there. And of course, there's our view of the boats, the Disney boats. All right, beach time, take 2. So as beautiful as Cocoa Beach is, it is lovely, wide, soft sand, beautiful beach, which is beautiful.
Way too soft for me to roll through, or even for anyone to help me pull through, because it's like, it pulled really hard to go like 2 inches.
So he was looking up and saw Port Canaveral, it's a little bit north of Cocoa Beach. They actually have Moby mats out. They're mobility mats for getting out onto the beach. So we're gonna go check those out so he can probably get out there further.
Make sure it goes at
easier.
least halfway out the beach. I'm happy with halfway. I don't need to get all the way to the water. If I can get just halfway, and then we can just sit and enjoy the beach.
Another day trip. This one not off for adventuring. This is Makenna again. If you've watched her videos for a while, you'll know that about a year ago she was diagnosed with Guillain Barre Syndrome, and that got all better and her legs got stronger and we're back to normal. But for the past few months she's been having trouble with her hands now. So we hadn't mentioned it or shown it on videos yet, but we've been going to doctors in Tampa again at the University of South Florida, which is where she had gone last year for some follow-up things. And so far she's had lots of fun testing. Like, what was it, Makenna?
Well, there was the nerve conduction study.
Oh yeah, an EMG.
EMG was part of it, yeah.
Which was fun.
So what do they do for that? Tell them how much
Okay,
fun
well,
that
there were
was.
2 pods, and I was worried about the pod with needles, but the needles were so thin I barely even felt them. But the other pod was basically like they shock you a bunch of times
Yeah.
to check that your nerves
Shock
are healthy.
treatment.
And my nerves were apparently perfectly healthy, which also means that it hurts a lot.
So since that didn't show anything, because that's the problem now, is trying to find what's going on. Since that didn't show anything, now today she's going for a brain MRI. I think that's with and without contrast, am I correct? And she did have brain MRI last year when she was in the hospital when she first had the Guillain Barre. So this is like a repeat of that, but she didn't have to go in the hospital. You know, it's just like an in and out procedure. If this comes back with no problems, then she goes to a movement specialist, correct?
Yeah, movement disorder specialist, which could be, I think, like 8 or 10 different things that are categorized under movement disorder.
Luck would have it that she seems to have her problems when we're in the Central Florida area.
Yeah, so you go to the same doctor. That's good.
Yeah, it works out well. Oh, and if you're curious, we haven't touched on her Guillain Barre Syndrome much, but if you'd like to know more about her recovery,
Yeah, on her channel.
on Makenna's channel, which is Makenna May. Oh,
Somewhere there'll be a
And in the description.
link.
so if you want to see more about her Guillain Barre Syndrome diagnosis and recovery, you can go to her channel and check that out. I have to say, unfortunately, we're way too familiar with this place, Makenna.
No, but it's a new floor.
It is, it's a different floor this time.
Hi, Makenna. How was it?
Good. It actually wasn't that bad. When I was in the hospital and had the MRIs, they were like a lot worse because I was tired and I had a headache, and it wasn't fun, but it was definitely a lot better than my previous MRIs.
Well, last time you had a spinal tap
Yeah,
and then the MRI, so
and then the MRIs.
probably the spinal tap is what gave you the
Spinal
headache.
tap did not help with
That's
the
good.
enjoyment of the MRIs.
All right.
So now we hurry back to try and get back to the Space Coast for the rocket launch, the SpaceX Rocket Launch. So,
Do you food a lot?
oh look, it's Jared's twin. She wants food. Did the MRI make you hungry?
It made me hungry. I wasn't even
And I
there.
finished the nuts on the way here. So.
Yeah.
Oh, oops.
Wait, kind of want to get my book.
Your book.
Sure thing.
We're watching a rocket take off. You don't need a book.
Was it drive?
It's
Go. Right,
okay. Go get your book.
We were going to, because we knew we were going to Space Coast, we were looking up, hey, what if maybe there's going to be a rocket launch while we're there. So we looked up on the NASA website, and no launch is scheduled. There was one, I think, a few weeks ago or something. We just, missed it. So
April 2nd.
So we're all disappointed. And then we found out from one of the residents here at the RV resort, he's like, oh yeah, the SpaceX is doing a launch tomorrow. This was yesterday. So we're like, hey, great. So 8:30 tonight, there's SpaceX Heavy 9 launching.
Okay.
Falcon 9?
Falcon. No.
Falcon 9. Not Falcon Heavy.
Yeah.
Falcon 9.
Falcon 9.
9.
Okay, which?
Not Falcon Heavy.
Heavy X2.
Right.
Okay, so obviously, what is a Falcon 9? And
So,
It's a rocket.
Yeah, it's the SpaceX rocket. They're using it to put
Starlink satellites.
just how many? 60?
60 Wi-Fi things that float in space.
Yeah.
so space launch it is because we're at the Space Coast.
Yeah, so we're going to drive over. There's just across from Cape Canaveral. There's a road with a park and stuff along it. It's a good viewing spot, so we're going to go there.
The drone
hang out.
probably would be allowed to go up.
How's that pair, Alex?
Not near the...
Are we too close?
Rocket
Like where we
launching
were
place?
before, probably.
Lesson learned here is if you're going to see a rocket launch, get there really early because
Other
we're
people apparently have the same interests.
yes, apparently lots of people like to see rocket launches. But yeah, so we're like an hour and 10 minutes before rocket launch, and it's packed with cars.
Very crowded, right along the road, Route 1. And people just pull up. And that's what we did. Because everybody else is doing it. It must be okay.
We only had one person blow the horn at us, so you know,
Yeah,
it should be
because
good.
we stopped in the middle of the lane.
That was Jared. We blame Jared. He was driving, so it's yeah. All right, off we go.
Oh, okay.
It's on the
Yeah.
ocean end. So
I
what
wonder
we're
if it's the tall...
You jinxed it, Jared.
What?
You jinxed it. Getting the hair all prettied up before church. You fix your hair. Yeah, leave for church in about 40 minutes. We'll do the full breakfast. Abner out?
No. He's under there somewhere, though.
All right. Well, we got to get going because church is like an hour and 5 minutes away.
Hopefully less on a Sunday. Less traffic.
Well, yeah. So that would be nice. But yeah, I got to get the kids out. Get them moving.
You got what?
My book.
Your book?
2 hours. And it's
2-hour drive and no book to read.
and I only have a week to finish
It's like
it.
font
And how do you
size
pronounce
6.
that, Dad, how do you pronounce?
Les Mis. They just call it Les Mis.
So it's really a rather large book, and I only have a week because I have to return it to the campground library, of course, before we leave.
Okay, left.
The cool thing about these RV resorts, we did not know that you can use them kind of like a regular campground at times, since people do rent out their lots if they're not here. And we always assumed, oh, over 55 we can't stay because we're not that age and we have kids. And we thought, well, there's no way they would allow kids. But friends of ours were like, oh no, you can stay. So this is now the second one that we've stayed at with our friends. That's pretty neat. So that's always an option. If you can't find a place, check out some of the 55 plus resort communities, give them a call, and they may have that you can stay on their property. And like I said, there's always openings because there's always people coming and going and not using their sites.
Alright, so today we're on the way to local attraction, the Kennedy Space Center. We're on the Space Coast. Figure we almost have to go to the Kennedy Space Center. Just Jarod and me and Alex and our friend Julia. Diana and Makenna aren't too into the space stuff, so well, yeah, we're leaving tomorrow from Titusville, and she had a bunch of laundry to do and all kinds of other stuff. It's not an inexpensive day. When we were up in Washington D.C., they have the Air and Space Museum, which is really nice because it's a really awesome experience and it's free. But this one's a bit pricey. In case you're wondering, it's $57 per person for adults over the age of 11. So Alex, thanks for being over 11 for 2 years. Okay, thank you. This thing is massive. I'm going to go up there by it to give you a sense of scale. You can see how big it is.
Which of these do you think lives up to NASA's mission of space exploration and discovery?
Makenna has gotten sidetracked going on our bike ride. This happens when we have neighbors with dogs. You're adorable. Always a headwind.